IDA Pro and Ghidra. They are two popular reverse engineering tools, and I use them both. But they differ in a number of ways that make each better for specific applications. So, because you are asking very often, should I just learn IDA or should I learn Ghidra instead of IDA? Should I choose this or that? So, I will just speak briefly about the key differences. First, uh, this is a code browser, the main tool of Ghidra, and this is how it looks. Here, if I hover, for example, I can look for the function which is called here. I can change the view, zoom it, see the flow, see the decisions, positive decision, negative decision. Here is a jump, if 0. And of course, I can just switch to binary. If I select something, it is selected in a function graph, and also it is selected in binary. So it is quite flexible. We can just go to the place which is addressed. We can just go back. We have references on the right side, and the notation is clear. Here is the address, the code, assembly, and eventual jumps. So we can see directly where it goes, even in a code or here in a graph. Then if I switch to IDA Pro, here we have IDA Pro, and the representation of our program is here, comparing to code browser where it is presented here. But we can navigate, of course, here, or same is for IDA Pro. Then the views are here, so we can add the views or even make a separate windows from them. So it's very similar. The functions are located at the left side, so it's the same like the symbol tree and the functions inside Ghidra. Then in IDA Pro, in views, as you see, they are very similar looking. And let's be honest, the Ghidra is somehow copy of the IDA, or at least copied a lot of ideas and methodology of the presenting of the data. Of course, we have a hex view. If we select something, especially, for example, if we select some lines here, it will be synchronized. Of course, there will be same selection in a hex view. We must decide about synchronizing, so then the selection will be synchronized. So copying portions of code looks the same. Also assembly, if we would like to change any line, you can just go here and patch program with assemble and simply assemble as many lines as you want. You can do this at any view open. So if you just go here and you would like to assembly, you can simply go to same place. So this is more or less the same, and I do not feel any advantage or disadvantage of one tool or other tool. Maybe IDA is faster, but IDA is a commercial software. Yeah, it is closed project developed by Hexrace, and the full version is very expensive. It is from several $1,000s, depending on the modules you decide to use. You cannot just download free files which adapt the compiler to decompile a new or richer version of the microcontroller. Ghidra is the open source. Yeah, Ghidra is open source. It is developed by National Security Agency of the United States, and full free HS, free with no restrictions on available functionality. IDA Pro has a classic and somehow old school, more old school graphical interface that sometimes it is criticized for being not enough intuitive. But remember that Ghidra is a successor, let's say successor of the IDA in some way. Of course, it's a separate project, but uses all the solutions IDA has. And if something is wrong in IDA or people believe that it is not flexible enough in Ghidra, then it is corrected. So maybe not so fast software, not so fast disassembler, but full-featured and without limits. You do not need a bag of money to own it. Uh, the next problem of IDA is that you need to buy separate modules. Of course, it supports limit number of architectures like PC, so x86 and x64, and ARM, of course. But for other type of microcontrollers, you must buy a separate module. Everything costs, of course, yeah. And Ghidra has a built-in decompiler, and it supports multiple architectures and works surprisingly well, at least for a free tool, yeah. So this is my opinion. And the compiler is flexible, and you can extend it with scripts, of course. So there is no limit if you are keen on Ghidra Java and writing scripts. Then if we just compare the architectures that can be supported and we forget about the money, so then IDA and Ghidra, they are very similar and they are on par, something like that. How to say that? Yeah. IDA uses Python. It is based on Python 3, and this allows you to write some scripts and automatize, difficult word, the reverse engineering process. But it is possible, of course, to use other languages. Simply, it requires more work to configure and install them. And for Ghidra, you can write scripts in Java and Python. So it is quite flexible, as for me. And the modifications, because it's open source, so modifications of the Ghidra code are easier for advanced users. So if you are just brilliant in that, you can just adapt the any function and any part of Ghidra to your needs. And last thing, the difference of the support, because IDA Pro has official technical support for commercial users. So if you pay that bunch of dollars, then they offer you the support, and it works. Yeah, I have tested it. It works. They answer, they help. And for Ghidra, you have a very big community. For IDA, the user community is smaller. Of course, it's very professional, but they are sometimes not as helpful because they don't want to show you anything. And in Ghidra, it is like for many open source projects, you have a lot of support coming from forums. You will find a multitude of plugins, scripts at the online forums, of course. So no commercial support, but active community. So not a bad situation. Sometimes they answer faster at the forum than the professional paid support from IDA. All right, so to summarize that, to have a conclusion, the IDA Pro is very high professional tool, and it is very good for advanced engineers, especially in companies that can afford to buy it. Its accuracy and support for non-standard architecture is a big plus. But another way, Ghidra is a great free alternative that has gained popularity due to its board functionality, modern interface, and flexibility. developed also by average user. So if you are just getting started with reverse engineering, Ghidra is a good choice to start with because IDA Pro, on the other hand, is more suitable for professionals who need the best available features and support for specific scenarios. So this is why I really ask you to focus at Ghidra and IDA. Of course, I can train you in IDA. It's not a problem for me. I've been working with IDA much earlier than the Ghidra project started. So of course there was no concurrent tool to IDA. But for our work as a car tuner who needs a map switching, multi-map, launch control, other functions, ecology control, it's much easier to start, and of course much cheaper because it's zero, to start with Ghidra.